Unicon Gate. It is a huge disaster. It's being called the worst disaster in pony fandom history. Oh my God.
We found out the con is scamming us.
We were just like, all right, you know, I'm canceling my card before they can charge it, which wasn't the dumbest idea.
Harvey, what are you calling this convention?
What? Oh, Titanicon.
We're gonna fix the problem. It's not we're putting out the fire before it spreads.
That's a fire alarm. Saber, what did you do?
Come on, what's going on, Rob Bob?
Are we saying this is the biggest con fiasco of all time?
I would say yes.
It was awesome. My first convention, too.
You've heard of DashCon? Well, consider this Rainbow DashCon. This is the Murphy's Law of Brony conventions. Not affiliated with the Brony Con. If this event was a person, it'd be John F. Kennedy. If JFK was alive today, he'd wish he wasn't. This is, or was, Las Pegasus Unicon 2013, amongst the most disastrous conventions. And I actually interviewed 2 witnesses who were there in person, Saber Sparks and his friend Final Draft, who used to be Brony journalists.
We will, as usual, remain here recording until we are told that we have to get out.
You made it! You made it, Saber, thank goodness! They said the Titanic wouldn't sink. They lied. It's oh, the hubris!
Calm down, every pony.
What's going on?
You gotta understand the time period. Conventions like Comic-Con were spiking in mainstream appeal, and niche ones were trying to get in on the rising Brony demographic. Grown fans of My Little Pony. You could not escape this stuff in the 2010s. To cash in was Las Pegasus Unicon, and it was to be hosted in Las Vegas at the Hotel Riviera. First opened in 1955, this hotel and casino was known for its performers like Frank Sinatra, Bob Hope, Elvis, and Liberace, but after 60 years, its best years were behind it. By 2012, the hotel had lost $19 million in its third quarter and was undergoing bankruptcy. They were desperate for business, desperate enough to host Las Pegasus Unicon. Unicon offered to pay to use their venue during the convention rather than before like most events. Unusual, but again, Riviera was desperate. Plus, running a convention is a lot of money and work. I'm sure with all the attendees and sales, they'll be able to easily make their money back and pay the hotel. After all, this con promised so many guests. Voice actors, board artists, directors, musicians, the big hitters like Tara Strong and John Delancey would be there. And so too would many fan artists and Brony press. This was looking to be a big event. How could it all go wrong?
All I know is that Everfree Network was like, yeah, we're going out there to be the media guys. And Saber Sparks, since you're an up-and-coming Brony like content creator, you should come out there. And I'm like, sure. Because the con offered to reimburse my flight and pay for my hotel. And I was like, whoa.
It almost seemed like you had to be there. Okay, they've got all of these big names there, and it's in Vegas. So if we can go, we might as well. Because up until that point, you would go to a convention and they might have like 3 or 4 big name voice actors, but you never had, 24, which is I think the number they had.
February 2013, the event came. Should you be there picking up your badge, you'll have to wait about 2 hours for Unicon's one single household laser printer to print each and every single badge and have that badge get laminated by hand. Upon entering, you'll receive a con booklet printed and stapled together full of many mislabelings and spelling errors. Advertisers bought space in these brochures and it featured a schedule of events going on through the con, although due to the event's constant shifting and canceling of panels, these booklets had to get reprinted frequently. There weren't enough books for all the attendees, so people had to share them. Now, the vendor hall where art and merchandise is sold was one giant room like normal, but for some reason the hall left up this giant retractable wall separating everyone. So many guests were oblivious to the sellers behind the wall. It does not help that they were expecting 2,000 attendees, but could barely make it past half. It's estimated between 8 to 1,100 showed up.
This can't be. Maybe we're early.
Actually, we're 10 minutes late.
We have a special guest.
Oh, I see.
What are you two doing?
From there, it only got worse. With the lack of guests, many vendors could barely break even. That's assuming any money was to be made, as you weren't allowed to spend real money here. Oh no. Guests had to trade in their real money for Unicon bits. Fun money.
Would you like to buy some itchy and scratchy money?
What's that?
Well, it's money that's made just for the park. It works just like regular money, but it's Fun.
Do it, Dad.
Well, okay, if it's fun. Let's see, I'll take $1,100 worth.
These glorious little 5th grade notebook doodles were the only currency allowed. Once the con was finished, people could trade in their Unicon bucks at a booth to receive the equivalent amount in American dollars.
What is it?
It's a Clarence dollar for putting in a good effort.
To everyone's surprise, this turned out very badly. Lots of people were not reimbursed as everything was going wrong, including a fire alarm being pulled, causing a full evacuation.
Get out of here! Come on! What's going on, Rob Bob? Get out of here!
Get to the chopper! Likely a false alarm, but everyone had to crowd the parking lot outside. But they came back in about 10 minutes later. Amongst the issues were no communication between staff and vendors, prepaid meals not delivered, almost no security which let anybody access the private skyboxes meant for special guests. There were raffle tickets sold for the exclusive dinner with all the voice actors. $1 for each ticket was given to Tara Strong's charity, the Kiki Recovery Fund, which I don't think they received those donations. Oh, and in this dinner, Tara Strong was served eggplant, which she's allergic to. And possibly the worst thing that happened at this con was the filming of a Harlem Shake video. 3 of them. They filmed 3 Harlem Shake videos here.
Security!
Oh yeah, if you thought the con goers had it rough, you should see the guests invited. Many big name voice actors, musicians, writers, and content creators had their travel and hotel rooms paid in bounced checks. Some of them were left stranded at the airport or even the con itself. With many of the invited already spending a night or 2 in the hotel, money was taken from their cards. It's believed the woman who started the convention, Sandy Haas, who we'll discuss more of later, told the hotel to charge the guests. Some of these rooms were suites going up to $300 per night, and if you couldn't pay, you were liable to be arrested. Several attendees were double or triple charged.
How to do? What?
No joke, dude. I was broke when I got back from the con. Like, literally had like $100 to my name. Yeah, which is like another reminder that at that time, my priorities weren't in looking for a post-college career or a job, because I graduated in 2012 in spring, but more of a, oh, I'm just all about bronies. This is me.
There were a lot of people there who were just like, all right, you know, I'm canceling my card before they can charge it, which wasn't the dumbest idea. There was one kid who was there who was like 17 years old, and it was his high school graduation present from his parents, and he was from Mexico City. And his card got basically overdrawn. Suddenly, it was charged for like $2,000 for this shitty hotel room. In the end, one of the voice actors actually almost took them under their wing and, you know, ended up helping them get another hotel room, whatever. But still,
how was the final day of the con?
Hell.
Many guests were kicked out the final day as the con ended hours earlier than expected. Anything that wasn't taken out of the convention hall in time would now be property of the hotel. This caused a massive outrage towards unpaid volunteers who even they don't know what was going on. It said that some of these volunteers had little to no sleep and just wanted to go home. Behind the scenes, even the show's crew were pissed. One claimed to have seen actor John Delancey yelling on the phone out in the hallway to his manager. While it seemed like Sandy and the rest of the convention organizers took the money and ran, they at least made a statement on their website.
I just don't know what went wrong. Yeah, it's a mystery.
The organizers claimed they did not abandon the con and the guests received their money. Unicon also claims the Riviera Hotel scammed them and are currently looking into legal action against the hotel. To that statement, many of the guests called them out online, including the hotel staff itself and voice actress Tara Strong, publicly shaming them.
Hey, Las Pegasus Uni, please stop saying you paid the talent. Your check bounced. I have not been paid a dime. You ruined it for all first-year cons. She has a point.
You gotta pay the talent.
Yeah, well, they thought that...
With real money, not pony money.
Not fake pony money that you printed
Who
yourself.
Who thought that would work? Who thought that would be a good idea?
Well, they thought, like, you can exchange it later. It's like fun money, you know? It's like money, but fun, but pretty much...
It sounds like a ridiculous heist.
It kind of is, involving ponies.
She was really sour, and like other show staff were sour. John Delancey was sour. I mean, I don't blame them, because like bronies are there out of their own volition for fun and craziness. Show staff, you know, are missing weekends of their hang with their family, and I I can understand why they felt burned.
Due to the event, Tara wasted her time and money and missed her son's karate tournament. Dang, better buy that kid a Turbo Man doll or he's gonna join those assholes at Cobra Kai. Good show. Tara also mentioned how she's now hesitant on doing first-year conventions, which caused a bit of paranoia in the growing Brony fandom.
We found out the con is scamming us, and Sandy and like her husband have disappeared. They'd taken the money and they ran off into the night, so they're gone. So the story goes. So if Hasbro finds out that this con was a massive failure, they might not allow us to go back to any convention ever again.
They basically were in a position where they thought, you know, why would we ever bring our talent to another convention again?
In the future. And I want to say something in case there's any people from Hasbro. Don't judge us. Don't judge this. This was an unforeseen thing. We're all good. The community's here. We're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. Just, we're going to fix the problem. It's not, we're putting out the fire before it spreads.
How will they fix this and who is responsible? Find out after these messages.
Up next, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic.
Hold on to your hooves. Okie dokie loki.
Catch a rockin' ride on a rainbow right here at the Hub. We're back to My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, right now on the Hub.
We're going to fix the problem. It's not, we're putting out the fire before it spreads.
This is when a charity auction was formed by anyone willing to help with the hashtag LostPegAssist. Rival Brony websites came together in order to save the future of fandom conventions. Congoers offered anything they could for auction. Fan art, prints, plushes, autographs.
I want this to start off at $30.
That was the first time the Brony fandom actually had a taste of like defeat. Because Brony's, their passion like ran really high. We were all so heavily involved. We thought we changed, because no joke, in Brony Con 2012, like a lot of us had the mindset like Bronies will change the world. With John Delancey making this Brony documentary, we're going to change minds and change hearts. Which, spoiler alert, no.
$40 for Dusty Cat's banana.
But at that time, we were so like invested that we were like, oh my God, we can't let Brony conventions die in the cradle right now. We have to make this right. We have to raise money for the show staff to get their, at least, flights back home. Brony media outlets, you've called here to answer the threat of Unicon. What should we do? And you got like Everfree Network and Equestria Daily, who are rivals, being like, we must join forces.
I'll even peel it for you.
Say what you want about Bronies. They raised the money. They covered the flights. They had enough money to get other folks home. I was one of those people.
That con brought us all together.
So the Bronies managed to save the future of conventions and appease the toy maker Hasbro. Had this con gone any worse, star appearances at pony conventions would not have been as frequent.
Which, in hindsight, I feel like, I don't know about that.
Well, they settled that regardless, but it's time to discuss who was responsible for this. The event organizer was Sandy Haas and her husband, a duo who basically fell off the face of the internet and hightailed it out of there, but not before Saber had a word with her at the con.
I don't think I verbally said shame on you, but I remember just looking at her with disgust, kind of like, wow, you ruined the Brony fandom. And she like looked back at me like, yeah, go fuck off, bro. And I'm like, okay. Good time.
Saber himself witnessed Sandy instructing the hotel to charge the guests, which is weird. She arranged the event, yet the hotel didn't have her card on file to charge it. Even Final Draft got to ask the casino's manager why they didn't charge her card, to which the manager replied,
"Don't you think we'd be doing that if we had a card on file?" I'm like, how does a casino on the Las Vegas Strip book an event without a card, without any payment information?
The economy is in shambles right now. Taking close look at the marketplace right now. Dow Jones.
Stop talking, goddammit, fine.
So yeah, the Riviera was almost equally as guilty, I'd say, for enabling this insane event.
God, no one is quite sure if this was all a scam or a genuine effort that proved to be too much. I believe it's the latter for sheer incompetence. You know, I just think they didn't care for My Little Pony, but they saw a business opportunity and thought, hey, if we get enough guests here, we could make something profitable. And yeah, that didn't work out so well. But because the couple abandoned ship, it made them look all the more suspicious. Yet Sandy's husband, Ed, at least made one last phone call to Draft.
This is at the point when nobody had heard from either of them. And Ed on the phone goes, Mike, please don't spread lies about our event. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he goes, we were not trying to scam anyone. We really honestly thought we were going to be a success. You know, this isn't a scam. And I told him on the phone, I'm like, if that's true, you need to come forward and explain everything that happened and where the money went. Because there was a lot of money from that charity auction and also just from people registering there. Like, if they didn't pay the venue for anything, they certainly did get a chunk of change.
Now, I want to say, don't harass these people assuming you can find them. People found stuff on the tube, but it's mostly irrelevant. Histories with pagan communities, faith healing, psychic readings, and owning exotic animals? Yeah, no, they were not in Tiger King.
I was watching that thinking, my God, please, Sandy show up in this. That would be the greatest thing. I get the feeling like, because she was a braggart too. She would say things like, you know, I know the guys from Gold and Silver. Maybe they'll let us film a spot there. But later on, I'm like, you don't know anybody. What are you even talking about? Like, what are you even doing? You know, who is this exotic pet person? I don't even know how this event came along. Like, she had all these like grandiose plans. She was kind of talking off the cuff to me, and she's like, LPU is going to be the biggest event this fandom's ever seen. We're looking for 10 to 15,000 people. Now, bear in mind, that's like 3 times the number of people that had been at the largest event to that point. She goes, well, if things are on track like they are right now, we're going to do an LPU, Los Angeles. We're going to do one on the East Coast. I've also thought about doing one on a cruise ship.
So, how did it all fail? Well, I believe in 2013 there was already quite a few Brony conventions going on all across the country, so this niche was spreading too thin. Plus, Las Vegas is not exactly a place for family gatherings. Las Pegasus Unicon was a disaster, and it predated both DashCon and the final Rainforest. Was it as bad as either of those? I don't know. I wasn't there. Oh, and the Riviera Hotel? Yeah, that was demolished in 2016. Good riddance.
What's great about My Little Pony is, if you want friendship that's magic, there's a pony for that. If you want to find the hottest place to graze, there's a pony for that. Fashion on the fly, closest rodeo, or rainbow in a snap? There's a pony for that too. And if you want a sun-stealing, princess-nabbing, lover of darkness stick in the mud, there's even a pony for that. Yep, there's a pony for just about anything. My Little Pony, Saturdays at 8 a.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, only on the Hub.
Hey, look at that!